My name is Kamalle Dabboussy, and I'm very happy to be able to bring to you this series of mayoral candidate interviews for those that are running for the Mayor of Liverpool City Council. We would have liked to have been able to bring people together, but in the current environment, that's been difficult. So we're presenting these interviews based on questions the community have submitted to us in order that these candidates respond to your questions. We hope we find value in these interviews. Good afternoon. Welcome to our mayoral candidate series. Today I've got with me Morshed, who is running for Mayor of Liverpool City Council on behalf of the Greens. Welcome, and can I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Kamal. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. My name is Morshed, and Australia has been my home since 2012. I did my schooling in Bangladesh, Nepal, and did my university, in University of Tokyo. Mm-hmm. So I'm a migrant here in Australia, and this is basically the Green has nominated me for the mayoral candidate. I'm actually representing the Greens and the Greens policy. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I've learned a number of languages, mm-hmm. and through that learning of those languages, I've got to learn different cultures and how we all have common goals and common aspirations. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of my strengths that I bring to the community.
Thank you very much. Okay. So during the Delta outbreak, the Liverpool residents felt that their voices weren't heard, they were overlooked as a community. As Mayor, what could you do to make sure that the voices of Liverpool are heard and that communities are not overlooked?
Yes. That's a very good question, actually. This COVID outbreak actually has shown the divide between the haves and have-nots. Even though the COVID has not discriminated anyone, but due to the financial conditions, people who were at a disadvantage, they were affected much more severely than people who are much more well off. And that's not only in Australia, that has been seen across the world. Poorer countries have suffered more. The deaths has been more than the richer countries. So now, while living here in Liverpool, I did see that there was a huge language gap, and the communication was not getting to the local people. So the Greens policies, that's the thing. I think what we have, the politics in Liverpool or the politics in Australia has been entirely top-down policy. Whereas Greens, one of the founding principles of Green is the grassroots democracy. So the Greens will bring people together instead of mm-hmm. dividing them. And that will ensure that when there are some, if we are faced with such problems like COVID and everything, we all work together, and also we'll try to build trust. So one of the things what surprised me is that many people did not believe in the vaccination. There was this anti-vax movement and everything. So that shows that people did not have trust, did not trust the government. Why that trust should be broken? And so there is this disconnect. And that disconnection, I think the Green Party, our party, will definitely try to mitigate. And that's one of and having a strong voice. Then another thing that I would like to reach out to your audience and say, the way to have a stronger voice is to get involved, is to understand how the policies are made, how the politics work, and how to vote and who to vote. It is very important that we reach out to the diverse community within Liverpool and make them aware of the ways that policies are made. That it's not done in a dark room. Mm-hmm. It's not, we need to it shouldn't be. I think there is this teaching or this learning also that we need to go through, and that needs to be done at all levels. Even politician needs to do that.
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. Liverpool has limited facilities in the CBD for community-based events. We need these facilities in order to build a socially cohesive, harmonious, vibrant community. As Mayor, what could you do to try and increase the facilities availability for communities for both new and emerging and established groups?
Yes, that's really quite important. yeah, Liverpool, I've seen a lot of suburbs being created, like Edmondson Park, and like yes, the population has gone up exponentially, quite in huge numbers. When, as a result, there is a huge pressure on the existing infrastructure. Definitely, one thing that we need to do is that this community, like swimming pools, recreational facilities, we need to increase the number of facilities that are available, and at the same time, those facilities which bring people together, which has like say for example the swimming pool. Let's take an example of swimming pool. We are going to reduce the entry fee for those. Like this recreational facility, we are like the entry fees to swimming pool here is comparable to North Sydney. Why should it be here? The average income is less than North Sydney, so we shouldn't be doing it like for profit basis. Like these facilities we need to subsidize. Maybe like with one thing that we are proposing in our policies is a $1 swimming pool entry for all residents, and I think that will increase like community cohesion. And not only that, we want to, again, as I mentioned, want to like make sure that we allocate resources so that such facilities are increased, like new suburbs also need those facilities, Edmondson Park or Miller, other places, and similarly like tennis court as well, other facilities. We want to reduce the privatization of those things, keep it still within the council's boundary, and make sure that it serves the community rather than pocketing some for-profit organization.
The Georges River is an important meeting space for all communities. We look from Indigenous communities to our most recent arrivals being the Mandaean communities, or amongst the most recent arrivals being the Mandaean community. Clean water is an important feature for the community. What would you do as Mayor to help the clean water security and a place for the community to be able to meet?
Yeah, this one actually is quite a, like river passes through a lot of councils and state, like sometimes also state boundaries. One thing that this comes from more from the Greens founding principles. So we have 4 founding principles, and another one is the ecological sustainability. So ecological sustainability basically implies that we need to protect the water, the soil, and the ecosystem. And so this is one of our core principles. This is what we are fighting for. And that part, what I personally feel is that riverbanks, there shouldn't be any development near the riverbanks. Riverbanks should be protected for people to enjoy and people to walk around, so there shouldn't be any privatization of those banks areas. And one thing that we would like to see is that whether our community, whether there is anything that we are doing as part of our like industries or anything that is contributing to the pollution to the rivers. If we are doing that, then whatever council can do will definitely try to prevent those things from happening. That's within the council boundaries. And at a state level and at a federal level, we'll be talking with our Green MPs and senators to ensure that these ecological sustainability is at the forefront of all our decisions. Because this river needs to be used by everyone, and it is a lifeline for many people. Not only just lifeline.
Thank you very much. So, Asim, the communities that we work with are a diverse community set. There are some of those in those communities that are hard to reach, and we use the example of the Fijian community, which in itself is not a homogenous group. It's not a single language group, and within that community there are some pockets which are hard to reach. How would you ensure engagement with diverse communities of Liverpool, making sure there's an equitable contact and resourcing, and that we work with those hard to reach communities?
This is again very important. Like I have a Fijian friend, and I've seen how the trouble that he has gone through. He had a business, like his parents had a business, and during this COVID outbreak, as the rules got changed, his parents, it was very difficult for them to keep up to date. So he had to give up his studies to help his parents. So yes, this is one thing that I feel that as more and more different diverse communities come, the one thing that we can do from the council is build within community leadership, like identify the leaders and reach out to them and make sure that and help them out in different way and give them training, or even if it's possible, some work experience within the Liverpool Council. So like Liverpool Council, of course, we have got many professionals. Those professionals can help the community, different people from different community, to understand how the council works. As a result, then many people have got a fear of government, fear of police, fear of those fears we need to break down. And that the way to do it is council to engage with the community leaders and make sure that people from their communities gets representation in the job, in the leadership, in every space. There should be representation, proper representation. So I think that is the most effective way. Will ensure that all the deals we do, we ensure that whether all the communities are benefiting from it or not. I think as a mayor candidate, one thing that I will do is that I'll make sure that it's not a 9 to 5 thing. I will go to, even if a community has got only 5 people, and if they have a celebration going on, I'll be present there. Even if 5 people, it doesn't matter how many votes that is, because we have become very skeptic, like many people, like most politicians just look at the vote and they target that way. Green Party is not that. Green Party is totally different. So you can see, I think the community can take motivation from myself, that the fact that Green Party has just nominated someone from a migrant community for mayoral candidate. So they are helping us to get into, like, unlearn leadership. Look, leadership is not something you gain just by birth. It's something that we need to learn, we need to acquire as well. And that's the thing that the Green Party is trying to achieve to all, or not only migrant, to refugees and others, diverse people from diverse background, race, culture, religion, regardless.
Thank you. Communities in Liverpool want a modern, vibrant city where people can go and enjoy the facilities after hours. They can have a place to take their families, and they can enjoy the city much like they do in Parramatta. How can we get this sort of city in Liverpool?
If we want to, basically, I lived in Westmead and Harrisburg for some time, and I do agree that they have got a very like a vibrant, within Harrisburg, very vibrant Indian community, like with restaurants and everything. That's so. For Liverpool to achieve that, again, we need to. This is again, we need here, that because all the different communities, they're in smaller numbers. Despite that, rather than them starting up, we need to give them some ideas, like what are the different business ideas, and then, say for example, have maybe during the Ramadan month, have a food stall, like at night, or during depending on different people's culture, like organize that and provide them the support, resources that they require to organize. Even if it's like, say, 20 people who wants to, say, Mandian, 20 people who wants to celebrate something, the council can come and help them with other logistics. And that part, I think we can achieve, we can do, and we should encourage that. And this is a great opportunity. Like, I don't have to visit so many countries to understand different culture. I can just stay in Liverpool and enjoy all these cultures. Sure. This is like, everyone wants to do that, and it will increase the tourism as well. People from all other areas will come and to visit, to see how other people interact, how they dress up. People wants to see that, because that's a new experience that people wants to get. I think for tourism it will help a lot as well. So
the next question is actually the last question that we've got at the moment. It's actually a bit of an MRC based question. Western Sydney Migrant Resource Centre works with our communities. They expect from us services, and they expect for us to represent them, their needs and their aspirations. How could you as Mayor work to help meet this community aspiration?
Look, this kind of organizations are really important. I've read your Tale of Two Cities. the data and statistics that you have provided was quite eye-opening. So I was quite surprised. Not surprised, I knew this fact, but the fact that you have put it in numbers shows the reality of the situation. To be honest, Liverpool is in Liverpool, we have one of the poorest suburb in entire New South Wales, Miller. Why should it be the case? I find it quite, why should it be the case? Sydney is quite rich. We have, how come there be so disparity within our place? So definitely the work that NGOs, non-profit organizations are doing, we need to take, as a mayor, what I'll do is that I'll definitely take inputs from them. I'll understand the problems because they're working at the ground level, and we'll try to see how we can complement them instead of how we can help them to grow as well. Instead of competing with them or making them competing, how we can make sure that we can complement them through other means. So, and also the data that collected, I would like to disseminate those data as well, and make sure that those data are collected, because I think that's very important. These policy papers will drive the decisions, and those policy papers, one thing that we need to ensure is that is one thing that as a candidate I'm quite want to make sure is that sometimes if there is a concept called garbage in, garbage out. So if you put so I want to ensure that the data that people collect are correct and it's proper data, so that in decision making we can make the correct decision.
Thank you very much, Austin.
Western Sydney MRC, powered by community.